Hi, this is Jesse from Death from Above 1979, and you're listening to Toasted. My name is Jesse F. Keeler from the band Death from Above 1979 from the city of Toronto, the country of Canada.
Beautiful country of Canada.
It's pretty beautiful. It kind of looks like Sweden if people actually lived there.
I heard that Canada is more. There are more bands coming from lately. So it's a bit hyped up lately. Not hyped up, but like it's getting more popular. Some bands coming out there, like Tegan and Sarah last week, and some other bands are coming from there. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's because everyone is so disappointed with America that they're now finally paying attention to Canada. But we've always had a ton of bands coming out of Canada. You know.
For instance, can you name some?
Sure, like Neil Young and Joni Mitchell and
Rush,
Guess Who and Rush and you know, Richie Houghton and Manitoba and Hot Hot Heat, Broken Social Scene, The Deers, Stars, great bands you haven't heard. Godspeed You Black Emperor.
That's a lot.
You know, great bands you've never heard of, like The Illuminati and From Fiction. Great band called Controller. We have.
What's the best band you listen to now then from Canada?
Probably The Illuminati.
Okay, what kind of music is that?
It's like, it's rock, but it's played really well. It's like it makes up for there not being a Led Zeppelin or a Deep Purple or an Allman Brothers, or you know what I mean, like Leonard Skinner, all those kind of things. It's great rock, it's catchy, and they play so well. So there's something for people who aren't musicians and people like me that I just, you know, love it so much. It's incredible.
Is it technical wise good or?
In every way, it's good.
Hey, let's talk about your band because that's why we're here. It is a two-piece band, isn't it?
Where'd you hear that?
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yes, there's.
For the people who don't know you.
Sorry.
No problem.
My band has two people in it. I'm one of them. The other person is in another room right now.
Doing interviews.
Yes, and we operate with only a bass guitar and a drum kit, and the drummer sings. Sometimes me, the bass player, will play synthesizers. Sometimes I play bass with one hand and synthesizers with the other.
Do you have foot pedals?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know enough about foot pedals to use them, and then if I had pedals to step on, then I'd have to like walk over to them and have my eyes open, and I'd rather just play with my eyes closed.
When did you start together playing? Because I think when did it start off?
We started in probably January or February of 2001. I think we got more serious about maybe a year later, and it's been chugging along ever since.
How did it start off? Like you played with the two of you in a rehearsal space, and then made the songs, and then started playing live. Is that right?
Actually, I made up 3 songs just on the bass and also playing the drums, and I recorded it myself. And I showed it to Sebastian, and he's like, "Oh, those are really great. We should try to do something with that." You know, I thought they were good too, but I wasn't sure whether or not that was just going to be the beginning of a band, or if that was the band that I didn't really intend on it just being drums and bass. I hadn't made up any decisions about it. And then we got together. We lived together at the time, and went down in the basement one day, and I started plugging amps together, and we started playing the songs, and he had sort of practiced he had figured out how to play the songs that I'd written in his free time. And then when we got together, it just sort of fell into place, and we looked at each other and were like, wow, we guess we don't need any guitars, we don't need anything else.
Cool.
And that was it. It was sort of an accident and I guess an experiment in that way. And the experiment continues. So far, it's been fairly successful.
Hey, and you played like the bass, and then would really distorted. Is that right?
It's actually less distorted than it seems like it is. It's sort of like a bit of a sonic trick. Like the amplifiers that I use, I built myself and with some other people's help, and so it's sort of the illusion of more distortion than there actually is. Like it's not even as distorted as if people who use a distortion pedal have more distortion than I do. My amps actually use some sort of synthesizer principles that I could get really technical, but basically it squares off the waveform rather than filling it with dirt. It flattens the top and bottom, right?
Almost like a really dirty guitar sound.
Yeah, what it does is it contains it, and it squashes it down, and then with the volume I bring it back up so it's loud again, and so that's why it has this. It's so distinctive. I know because it's got this weird characteristic to it. So if I'm playing very loud, it won't feed back. Unless I put the bass right up against the amp. Yeah, okay. But even though it's like louder than anything, it won't feed back because of this weird like squashing square principle that I built my amps using.
Do you have like pedals for that too, like to make that sound? Just plug it in and only this amp will do it.
It's just the amplifiers, yeah.
Cool. So that's cool. But how did you come up with that?
I just had the idea. I'm a producer, and I own a studio, and I do a lot of recording, and it's sort of based on, if you look at waveforms, you see all the. Is this too boring for radio?
No. Yeah, okay, but we're gonna talk about some other things. I like it.
Yeah, well, when you look at waveforms, you see all the little. You can see the sound, and
like
then.
Pro Tools.
Yeah, like if you see the little waves and all the little peaks and valleys, and then if you imagine if you squashed it and so that the waveform, even if it's like this big, and I'm using my hands right now, radio. If it's this big and then you squash it down so it's half the size, but you still put all the same information in it, right? Then it ends up being like this solid sound. So each note is so strong, and that's what I wanted. And like my idea was, I just wanted the melodies to come out so well and so loud and clear, so that they'd get stuck in people's heads.
Okay, cool. And then you started playing live. How was that for the first time?
When we started, we only had about 15 minutes, not even, maybe 12 minutes of music. And
were you asked for something, like to play somewhere?
Yeah, our first show was in New York. First few shows were in New York and Boston, and some people asked us to play, and we thought, wow, well, we better get something together. And how it was that we were asked to play is friends of ours were going on tour, and the band that was supposed to open for them couldn't show up. And I told them, yeah, we got a band. And they said, oh, why don't you come play these shows with us? And we thought, oh, it's just the two of us. Sure, we can do it. And then the pressure was on. We're like, oh no, we gotta figure out what to do.
No, we have to do it.
And so we would throw in some Misfits covers and some old punk songs, or some we used to cover a Deep Purple song even, and just like try to fill it up so we could play for 20 minutes. And we used to just play for 20 minutes, always. And then as time went on, we stopped playing covers, wrote more of our own songs.
Right. Yeah.
But that was it. It's just like most bands don't start off touring, but that's how it worked with us. We just like immediately, our first show was tour, always.
Cool. So this is the first record you just brought out, isn't it? In Holland, because
yeah, that's our first LP. We have 2 EPs out before this one, which I think are slowly becoming available around the world. Although they've been out in Canada and America for years now.
Yeah. How is it in America? How is it, for instance, Canada to start with the music review?
For us, it's well, I mean, every show we've played in this year has been sold out all across North America. I mean, we've been playing bigger and bigger clubs. This fall, we're touring all arenas with Queens of the Stone Age and Nine Inch Nails.
Shit.
If that's any indication, you didn't. I don't know if people over here know that, but I mean, like, we're playing Madison Square Garden next time we play in New York.
God damn it!
So
that's great. You can swear, by the way, on the Dutch Redness.
Oh, well, that's
great, man.
So I guess that's your indication. I mean,
okay, did you expect that then?
I didn't know big bands like that would be into us, but now, I mean, I guess they are, and I take that as like as a vote of support, you know, because I know that, you know, probably every rock band would have loved to have that tour, and
I think so.
And we got it, and I know that it's like a 1 in a million thing. And
did they ask you or something?
Yeah, the Queens of the Stone Age had asked us, and then 9 Inch Nails was actually combined tours with Queens of the Stone Age, and at first I think they intended on bringing someone else, but then they decided also, yeah. So
bring some weirdos with us.
Yeah, and it's really it's flattering to think that you know, that like Trent Reznor was sitting somewhere and listening to our record and thinking, yeah, or like looking at pictures, reading the press, and thinking, yeah, I want this band to open for me. And
you didn't even talk to him yet, so.
No, I mean we've talked to guys in Queens of the Stone Age a lot, but I haven't talked to anyone in 9 Inch Nails yet.
Cool. Man, that's an honor, I think.
It's crazy. All the shows are huge.
Yeah.